Welcome to the NBTLT podcast with your guides to this magical journey, Lon and Zumi.
Welcome to the NBTLT podcast. This is the only podcast that guarantees to make pissing stones feel extremely orgasmic. I am Zumi, and Lonnie will not be joining me. Ha ha ha, psych. Lonnie is with me today, or tonight. And, Lonnie, how are you, my friend?
I am fucking fantastic, Zumi. I've actually really been looking forward to talking to you because we didn't get to have you last week, so.
I know.
And I fucked up the episode previous week.
Yeah, you did. you stole them from Lucky 13.
Yeah. So we made Lucky 13 the husband and wife one.
Yeah, which I don't know if I should feel good or bad about that because the downloads have been extremely well. So that's
yes, but it's
so my prediction was correct though. Like people don't fucking like me; they like you better. So.
No, it's not necessarily because there was more downloads of previous episodes at the same time. So people were actually going back and downloading other episodes too.
You don't have to lie to me. That's fine. I mean, I get it. So that being said, this will be my last episode, I guess.
No, it won't.
And we'll turn it to Lon and Christelle, I guess.
No, I don't think I could handle that. No, which actually brings up an interesting point because I was asking Christelle if she would have someone in mind to do like a small, tiny little section with another female.
A little girl on girl action, I like that.
Yes, a little, perhaps a little cat fight here and there. But I thought it would be interesting to get, like a female perspective on things that doesn't really have to do with us talking. It's just them for 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want to give them too much. I mean, we already gave them the right to vote. There's absolutely no reason to give them any more rope than that. So.
Oh my god. So, yeah. So.
What did we miss?
I know, dude. It's been rough. I actually started coaching today.
Awesome.
Had tryouts, and I think my team's gonna be pretty good this year.
Well, they better be. You're gonna put in all that hard work. They better be.
I know, dude. They're freshmen that are like 6'1", 6'2". I'm like, you're 14. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And these are boys or girls?
This is boys.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me they're 6'1" girls.
Well,
it's like, dude, I think they do have a future.
Yeah, no, girls.
Because you're 6'1" as a woman, you can get into the WNBA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my height as a woman in women's is actually pretty good, especially if you can jump. Like if you're 5'7". Which is,
You're right. You do have the perfect female figure.
Yeah. I mean, right now I got the love handles going on, but I did started working out.
You actually started working out?
Yeah. So now I have an employee membership, and it allows me to go to any club that we have.
Do you feel like you're pressured into that when they give you the free membership?
Well, no, I don't feel pressure because I had it before when I was a temp, and I never went. This time I'm actually going because it came from me, dude. Like I don't like where my body's going, to be honest.
Oh, do you want to talk about it?
No, not really.
Okay, good.
All that I can say is that I'm not doing what any traditional guy that's been fat for a while, and they just said like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, and all they do is they just do chest and biceps.
Go home and eat a Snickers.
Right, and then because your upper body is the easiest thing to bulk up, right? Would you agree with that?
I think it depends, but yes.
So
for the majority of men.
So what we're doing, what my brother and I are doing, is just it's just all. It's like every day is leg day.
Every day is leg day.
Almost. Oh well, almost every day. But we do squats and deadlifts for the and we do a lot of stretching.
Well, obviously, I mean, Mexicans need to learn how to jump that new wall.
Oh well, yeah. We're gonna be like Super Mario, dude. We're gonna make instead of making Mario Italian, I think we should have made Mario Mexican.
Yeah, that might have worked. And he'd have those obstacles to overcome, quote unquote.
Yeah. So I know this is a little late, but one of the things that you fucked up, Lonnie, last week is that I was actually pretty excited about talking about Super Bowl finale.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a while, and all of you fucking crybabies out there are still going like, Tom Brady's a fucking cheater. But, hey, it's fucking Tom Brady. That's all I had. That's all I said on the last podcast, right, Lonnie? Because I told you. Well, let me tell them the story of my friend, right? So I came in. I held on for this for a week, right? And my friend had money on the Falcons, and he lost. And then he's like, "You can't tell me that there's nothing like going on the on closed doors." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's like, dude, are you kidding me? That probably somebody like made a call and said, hey, Matt Ryan, if you want to keep your job, just don't do anything anymore. And kind of like the whole conspiracy theory that the Super Bowl was rigged for the Patriots to win. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I just have 3 words for you: Tom fucking Brady. That's all I say.
And like we had said on the
this is from the guy that rooted for the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, you have every reason to hate the Patriots.
It's Tom fucking Brady. Come on, dude.
Well, I think it was the same way for, let's say, the 49ers when Joe Montana was the quarterback, right? I mean, there was a large majority of the country that just straight up hated the 49ers.
Right.
And it kind of lingered on, and people are so happy that the 49ers suck now. They feel like it's payback or whatever. And one day, like the Patriots are going to, go right back into sucking like they used to when I was a kid. But until then, I mean, I don't know why everybody has to revert to the cheating or there has to be something.
Yeah. The conspiracy.
It's like, why?
Yeah,
I don't understand why. You're telling me that for 3 quarters, it was the plan for Tom Brady to get his ass kicked by the Falcons defense. Because that's what happened. Yeah. And you're telling me that it was the plan for Tom Brady to throw a pick 6. How do you... I don't know, because things like that, you can't just call an opposing quarterback and say, hey, it's time to take the fall.
Yeah, I know. Take the die.
Okay, you might be able to do shit like that in baseball and get away with it because there's so many games. Yeah. And you might, but even then, I don't even think you could do it for the World Series.
No, why would you, right?
Yeah, why would you? But...
And football's one of those, it's one of those games where, like, I don't think just one player can sabotage the entire game.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to, like, not notice if you're sabotaging the game.
Oh, yeah. It's, any player on the 11 guys on the field, if he decides, you know what, my fantasy football league is sucking, so I'm going to, step to the side a little bit and not make this catch or not make this block. It's pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. I mean, you can attest to this, Lonnie. During the Super Bowl, I was texting you while they were getting their ass kicked, and I was just like, "Yo, if Homeboy's gonna do something, like now will be the perfect fucking time for that miracle." And then what happened? You tell me, what happened?
it's what happened is the absolute greatest comeback probably in football history, as far as maybe not like, as in any game, because there's been a lot of crazy regular season games, but I'm talking like everything that was on that stage. Like you had the biggest game in football of the year. You had two amazing quarterbacks. And I really do think that Matt Ryan is a fantastic quarterback, and he deserves every bit of that regular season MVP that he got. But what happened was I really think that it was just experience, or the willingness to win. Because when it comes to all the untangibles or the intangibles, Tom Brady's got everything, because he doesn't have the talent. If you really want to be honest, he's not fast. He doesn't have the most powerful arm. He doesn't scramble well, obviously. And the guy still goes out there and wins games. It just doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. And this is what pisses people off, especially teams like the Seahawks or, the Jets or, whatever. It's like Seahawks have a quarterback that can move around and still throw the ball. And they're pissed because they're not, well, we beat him in the regular season. Oh, yeah, but, great. Yeah, we lost 2 games this season. Awesome. Yeah. But, it's about the whole thing. It's not just about Tom Brady either. It's about the whole thing, and you have to give, at least half the credit to Belichick for being as successful as he's been for this long. Yeah. That's almost impossible. You just don't see that.
So
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a fun game to watch. I enjoyed it, and like at the
first overtime in Super Bowl history.
And at the end, you finally fucking text me back. Because I was texting like crazy, and
I was silent,
and Lonnie was just like you know how they have that like in WhatsApp, you have like the check mark. That means this message was sent. If it turns blue, it means that you saw it.
Yeah.
And then on Messenger, it gives you the little color icon of your picture. So it was just like color picture, and I'm just like, answer, motherfucker.
I know you're seeing this.
It's like, don't ignore me. But no, but the prediction was true, right, Lonnie? Remember I told you I'm rooting for the Falcons, but dude, I'm giving it to the Patriots. The Patriots are gonna win, and it was like the whole concept of giant versus a giant slayer. Like everybody roots for the giant slayer or the underdog, but if you're a giant, you're a fucking giant. Most likely you're gonna win. So there's a big difference. And I don't know. Enough said.
Well, I got to ask you one more thing. Did you see you saw the mic'd up?
I did see the mic'd up, and
did you see what Taylor Gabriel was saying?
Oh yeah, if you guys,
it's fucking great.
If you guys have like a couple of minutes to kill, like I suggest you YouTube that shit and just watch like the last 10 minutes of it. It's really freaking awesome. Like
the best part of that was when Mohamed Sanu was standing next to Gabriel, and he was talking, well, I wouldn't call it talking shit, because they have every reason to be confident at that point, whether it's like the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah, it was
28-3. The game was won. The game was over. And Mohamed Sanu's he said something like that. They ain't never seen nothing like us.
Yeah.
And then Gabriel goes, yeah, but they got Tom Brady, man.
Yeah. Out of that mic up, the only thing I didn't like, and I didn't like the pressure that his player or Tom Brady's teammates were actually putting on him.
Oh yeah, but it
no.
every year.
Well, I'm talking as far as the way they approach. I know they mean well, and I know people mean well. And if you're a coach, this is something that I never I don't encourage this with my kids. I don't encourage them to play for somebody else.
Well, like when Edelman what was it? He said for your mom or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, stuff like that.
I understand that.
I mean, that's the exact same shit that happened when the Giants beat him. Remember? Like they were all saying like, "Oh, it's for what was the manager's wife or something like that."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, you can't make those fucking promises, you know?
Yep.
That I mean, yeah, if you pull it out, then it's like, you know, it's kind of like you can make a movie out of it, but if you don't succeed, that can take a fucking toll on you, or toll on a toll, a toll on you. And I mean, think about Ronda Rousey. She just got the fucking living shit kicked out of her, and it's one of those things, you know. It's like, so yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't encourage that too. Like my boys, like I don't ever tell them like, yeah, do this for you, do this for Westview, do this for like whatever. It's like no. It's like
just do it.
You come in here, you play, you apply the things that you learn in practice, and you know, you go and have fun.
Yep. And you know, I think the biggest thing to come out of the Super Bowl is, you know, a lot of people are going to be pissed. I get that, but do what I did with Peyton Manning in his last season. You know, I can be pissed that the Broncos beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship, but I can also look at it a different way and say, you know what? No matter how I feel about Peyton Manning, no matter how much he's kind of sucking right now, I can still enjoy watching a legend.
Yeah.
You know, I can still watch the guy and not necessarily root for him, but just understand and know that I'm watching history with a guy that used to be a touchdown machine. You know, and if you try to take that approach instead of just being hateful all the time, you know, it's easy for me to say, you know, I'm spoiled, but
look at
seriously,
Seahawks fans.
Well, I think with Seahawks fans, they have to remember where they came from, you know. But yeah. As long as you do that, as long as you can just enjoy it, it's still a game.
Yeah, what does Washington really have? Like, honestly, what do they really have? I mean,
well, they have their
they have Nirvana. I mean, he fucking kill himself. Come on.
They have Evanescence because what's her face is from Seattle.
Ugh, God. Yeah. I mean, other than that, really, like that's all they have.
You know, I could get into it, but we'll be here forever.
People are gonna be fucking hating.
I don't care. It's okay. Anybody that listens that I work with, they all know that I hate the Rainy City bitch pigeons. But I can still acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of players on that team who I respect with their talents and stuff like that. So why not just do that? Just be like, you know what? I hate that guy. Like, you know, what's that line from Anchorman? I straight up hate you, but damn it, do I respect you?
Yeah. Yeah. So the question that we tackled was what are we gonna do on Sundays now, dude?
I don't know. Well, because
what have you been doing?
Well, actually, I've been doing a lot of stuff around the house.
Oh my God, you sound so fucking lame right now. I've been doing stuff around the house. Been cleaning up, watching
like
dishes.
A husband and a father.
Rearranging my my cabinets, you know.
It's gonna be a nice little Saturday. Gonna go to Home Depot. I don't know if we'll have enough time. But no, it's become a little bit more difficult because you have that expectation during NFL season, you know, that you have something to watch during the weekend and even on Mondays and Thursdays. But now it's even worse because Game of Thrones has been pushed back and shortened.
Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about Game of Thrones.
And the shortening of the season really doesn't bother me that much since they want to add more content and stuff. But the fact that they had to push it back just sucks.
Yeah.
You know, because every year it's been right after football season.
No, but it's fine. You know, I respect that for
Yeah, like I said, it's fine. But now I just don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, everybody in that management team is pretty good. Like, you know, they kind of did like Spartacus. they said
What a crazy show.
we could drag this thing out for like 8 seasons, but then people will just fucking just get bored. So we rather finish with 4 seasons, 4 good seasons, and then let people be like, I wish there was more. We kind of want that feeling. And with Game of Thrones, like they know how the story ends and stuff, and they were like, yeah, like we can probably drag this with more episodes, but it's like we rather just give you 8 solid episodes on one season or this season, and then the last season we'll do 10, or well, I think it'll be 9.
I think it'll be 9,
but one is a 2-parter, so or a longer episode, so it's kind of like 10.
Yeah, that stuff. A lot of people might get pissed about that, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, and it's
because I prefer that. If they're just going to give me real content instead of filler.
And this is something that I like a lot. Like even the president of HBO, I think he said that they don't care that people download Game of Thrones illegally. Like on the contrary, he thinks that's fucking awesome.
Comcast does.
So he's like, yeah,
I wouldn't know from experience.
He's like, I'm actually like glad that we have that like I think they actually hold the Guinness record for it, for the show that that people download the most illegally.
Yeah, I think the previous was getting not the record holder, but that was getting close was Breaking Bad. But that I don't understand because that was on AMC.
Yeah.
Or was it AMC or was it
AMC?
A&E?
No, AMC. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm throwing a big stone here at Walking Dead, because I used to watch Walking Dead, and now fuck man, like you brought up Negan like way too fucking late. I've already gave up.
There's a lot of filler,
and I do follow
in that show.
And I do follow the comics for all you haters out there.
Oh, and in case my sister-in-law's listening who loves Walking Dead, I'm not trying to hate on Walking Dead. I just don't like it. But that doesn't mean it's not, good for some people. That's fine. I kind of lost interest after like the 2nd or 3rd season, because it was just too drawn out for me.
Yeah, and the story's not progressing. Let's be honest. The fucking story's not progressing. Every season is the same.
I wouldn't know at this point.
Well, every season is the same. They find a place, they defend the place, they lose the place. They find a place, they defend the place, they lose the place. And it's just
it's like pretty much every reality show about gold or oil or fishing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll just we'll just digress here a little bit, but we did have like a big segment on Valentine's Day.
We did. It's over. That's okay.
But, so, in case you were late, I guess this is like 11 days late now.
You're already in trouble.
Yeah, one of the questions was, what would be a good Valentine's gift for men? And I said that you can never go wrong with an electric shaver or something.
That they need or they use?
Yeah, along those lines of like, trimming your body. Like, even though like, some guys may say, like, I'm never going to use that. Like, eventually, we'll use it. If it's there, we'll use it. And trust me, like, we'll appreciate an electric shaver. Like, fucking razors, man.
Like I said, my electric razor I still use that Christelle gave me.
If you're like me, like the regular blades, like, I'll use a brand new one, and then fucking, I'll have those, I'll break out. Like,
I haven't actually used an actual razor in a while, but I don't grow facial hair like you do, so
since the military,
mine is really thin and it grows really slowly, so I don't have that big of a problem. But like I said, I still use that electric shaver that Christelle got me a few years ago, and I love that thing. But I would say as another gift, sentimental gifts are fine, but it does not have to be big. In fact, it probably shouldn't be. It could be something really simple, even if that's the only gift you get them. If it means something to you both, or just him, like, that's cool. But mainly things that will be used, like, a lot.
Well, I just got an idea.
Okay.
What would
let's
be
hear
a
it.
what would be a gift that you would say like absolutely like no, like you get that gift from
For
your wife?
men?
Yeah, no, from your wife. That you like your wife comes in and, says, and she says like, "Oh, I got you this," and you go like, "No."
I'd say anything that has to do with like a manicure, like free manicure or free day spa.
Oh, that'd be pretty bad. Actually.
That doesn't really work for us. Even though,
No. I'm
even
saying
even if
I'm not saying manager. I'm saying for you. Like,
for me,
yeah, like what would you say would be a shitty gift that for you to receive on like Valentine's Day or well, like let's say any doesn't have to be Valentine's, but just like any.
I would say anything that has to do with me doing work in the house, like say, like, oh, this is going to help you pull the weeds. Here's some gloves.
Well, I mean, but don't men do the same thing? Like, here's some frying
Yes, but
pans, baby.
yeah, but you should never do that. You should never do that.
Like, well, like my wife is a baker, right? Like, so if I come in with like a full set of like like the molds for like baking cakes, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, if I show up with one of those, like she'll actually appreciate it, but she won't take it like the frying pan. Like,
Yeah.
you can cook me.
Frying pan isn't good.
Yeah, you can cook me them
Maybe
eggs.
anything that has a cliche about the certain gender. Like anything that's like, like women should be making me a sandwich, so I'm gonna get her a sandwich cutter or some like, sandwich helper. It's like that's probably a bad idea.
How about anal beads?
That might be a bad idea, especially that could go either way too. Anal beads for either gender.
I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Bring up the kinkiness within.
I suppose. I mean, I guess that would depend on your partner.
Yeah, no anal beads.
Yeah.
I mean,
in general,
I
no
mean,
anal beads.
you can always like make the suggestion to kind of like find out whether that is a good idea.
Maybe.
But from my experience, like most women, yeah, I blame porn. Porn gave me a misconception of like what women kind of want.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Yeah, they
really don't.
I've been barking at that tree for 5 years now, and it's still not getting
silent.
Yeah, it's not. It's not working out for me.
Maybe a bad gift for Valentine's Day, like Christelle could bring home another man. Like like as a like, hey, I brought over so and so. Maybe we could.
I'd be like, we could what? Play video games?
He'd act all fucking naive. Be like, I'm gonna let you get out of this hole before I get pissed.
Yeah. What if it's me, Lonnie? What if I show up in like a miniskirt?
Oh well, then that's cool.
Okay.
I'm game.
It's good to know. It's good to know.
It's not like it's never happened before.
For the record, it's never happened before.
Yes, it has.
No, it hasn't.
It has.
No, it hasn't.
So, okay. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to make because I think we made the announcement, right? We're actually we're hiring.
Yes. Well, we did make the announcement, but of course it wasn't recorded.
Well, but was it on that podcast or was it on the?
Oh well, it was recorded on the previous podcast, right? No, it was on the podcast that didn't get recorded. So
okay,
I'm pretty sure. So go ahead, do your spiel.
So we're looking for because I guess we don't have just Andrew as one of our listeners. We thought we just had one fan clicking multiple downloads on like different computers.
It must be because we don't get anything from anybody else.
Yeah, or a robot or something. So we were just like, okay, we're doing this for Andrew, and
that's what I'm going to name this podcast.
Just
I'm going to write that down.
The Andrew
it's
podcast.
Just I'm going to call it For Andrew.
For Andrew.
Yep.
So
there.
So no, our numbers are actually are pretty good according to people that we know that run podcasts.
Yeah.
So we're trying to take it to the next step, people, for the next level, right?
Well, yes. We've added a few things. We've added one specifically that really doesn't have anybody on there because I just started the Reddit subcategory, the NBTLT subreddit. I guess the only reason I started that was just, to, one, take away the name from Reddit so that nobody else could get it, obviously. And then the other reason was...
If we get, like Oprah rich, we don't want to fucking pay you. Screw you.
Yeah, even if it's like a couple grand at that point, I'm not paying anybody. I'll just change the fucking name of the podcast. Screw you. But the other reason was Reddit is a really good forum for, like discussions and stuff like that. And we really don't have... I mean, we have Facebook, but, it's Facebook. And I'm not really a fan of Facebook anymore. Like, the only thing I really use Facebook for...
Mike Zuckerberg gave us the greatest gift of social network. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I talked to you, and I talked to a couple other people that I know, but, I mean, mostly you.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's really
sad,
all I
actually.
use it for. And then Facebook isn't really good for discussion.
No, no, it isn't. It really
there's really no way to have a real forum type discussion. Yeah, and Reddit will do that.
Yeah, people are fucking lazy on Facebook. They'll just like, and that's it.
Like, and the other thing that is going to be started up very soon. It may not be perfect at first, but it will be the website. The website will most likely have all the integration to some degree of all of our other, forums that we use, such as Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, any of that type of stuff. And of course, that'll be a nice little central hub where you can go to get all the links for every episode and any of the other content that we put on there.
Yeah. Well, we'll eventually try to get some sponsors, not to... I mean,
real ones too.
Yeah, real sponsors. We don't want to... But I don't know. We're kind of like... What's the word?
We want to keep it modest because we don't want this podcast to be some shilling, where all we're trying to do is make money. That's not at all what we're trying to do. I mean, it would be nice and it would be fun, but we're already having fun.
Yeah.
We started this whole thing just to record what our conversations are like.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is kind of pretty much what they are.
You know what else is fun too, Lonnie? When you try and you're looking for something online and you can't really find it. So I found this search engine that you can just punch in whatever you want and it'll give you the link.
Googly?
Yeah.
I think I've heard of it.
That's an inside ad right there.
Okay.
We don't want to do that shit. That was kind of a bad example. I did this better on the phone. We actually talked about this on the phone, and it went smoothly. And Lonnie was just like, "Are you just doing an ad?"
Well, if we ever do something like that, it's probably a joke.
Yeah,
just know.
like right now. I mean, it was kind of a failed joke, but something like that.
It makes sense.
I tell you
People get it.
I tell you what doesn't fail though. Master Clean. Master Clean has never failed.
Okay.
All right, stop.
No, but I think what we'll probably do is the affiliate type advertising where we, just do something like where we have a website like a online store or something like that, and we just give you a code.
Yeah.
From like NBTLT, and then they, process it through and you get a little discount or something like that. And that'll probably be the extent of our advertising, at least in the very beginning.
We hope.
Anything else, I will, if we ever get to that point where we're actually doing real ads, I'm going to do my best to find a way to keep it at the end of the podcast.
Which kind of change the subject a little bit. I just noticed that you're wearing the same fucking shirt
Every podcast,
Every
yes.
podcast. I kind of do the same. But because you can't see Lon, he's actually wearing an In-N-Out shirt, which is fucking awesome. I think.
I love it. I love In-N-Out.
I always wear this one. I always wear the cystic fibrosis, or the attacking.
Oh, so you have a good cause. I just have obesity.
I wear the attacking cystic fibrosis shirts that we did on our volleyball team because one of our kids has cystic fibrosis and he plays volleyball, so we did a fundraiser like every year, and hopefully they'll find a cure very soon for it.
Is it a foundation that they do?
Well, it's not federal. It doesn't have federal funding, so it's all.
Meaning, do they have a website that people can go to?
I'm pretty sure if you just Google cystic fibrosis something, it'll.
Well, let's look it up.
It'll come out, but
because we can totally plug that at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, he was a senior last year. So last year was his last year with us. But cystic fibrosis is one of those things where they're like this close to actually finding a cure for it.
Yeah.
So one of the greatest football legends, his son actually died from daughter died from cystic fibrosis. Boomer.
Yeah.
He's really involved in the cystic fibrosis, community stuff. So if you want to see like his story, dude, it's fucking sad, dude. But nowadays, they actually do have technology to control it, like medication. They have a vest that vibrates, and that's how they're able to spit out the what's the word? The snot, all the freaking snot.
The mucus.
Yeah, the mucus that gets stuck in their lungs. So our volleyball player, his name's Aaron Fox. You can Google him. You'll find him. From Westview. He actually had to wears that vest every single day. He has to get up extra early to do this, take medications and all that stuff, and so.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
so I always wear this one when we do the podcast, and and I notice you wear the In-N-Out shirt, which I think it's cool.
The In-N-Out Foundation.
So I'm not I love them burgers.
Well, I saw something interesting in the news on one of my feeds, and I saw that a lot of doctors now are switching from handing out pills to advising people on what to eat. And I read through the part of the article, not the whole article, because I'm bad at that. I read through part of the article, and basically what it was saying is that these doctors are obviously, they're prescribing pills to people, and these people are coming right back, and they're having, of course, the same problems, just with more problems now that they're taking
with the
prescriptions,
with the side effects of the prescription.
Yeah. And so now a lot of these doctors are prescribing, for lack of a better term, they're prescribing, better eating habits or certain types of food, and saying, okay, well, you have this, we'll eat this for, 3 weeks, and then we'll see what happens. And I just thought it was interesting because, the pill generation has gotten so bad, that people are you're taking pills for pills, upon pills, and it just becomes so bad. I mean, you have to take some pills just because you're taking other pills. Doesn't that sound ridiculous to anyone else? I mean, if you were to equate that to food, it's like, well, I'm eating lettuce because I had a piece of beef. I mean, it's like you start getting into such a hole with that stuff. So I just thought it was kind of cool.
Well, it's
that,
it's kind of like that concept of taking a special K and then ecstasy, right?
Yeah, bad
so,
idea.
So you take one to get the fucking boner, but then you take ecstasy to not get the side effects of like passing out, of sleeping. So I mean, I remember when my uncle was going through like his chemo and all that stuff, he had a shitload of pills, which I still have. And like for example, he had morphine for pain, right? But then he had like 3 or 4 to counteract side effects of what's in the morphine one, and then one would be to counteract the effects of the one that he just take, and then it was just like you're just treating for side effects. Which one's the really like the one that's actually helping you heal? And he's like, none of them. They're just for pain.
Yeah, and
like,
it's just as ridiculous as you working in an office setting and having meetings to plan your next meeting. It doesn't make any sense. But you're doing that with someone's life. I mean, anyway, I just thought it was an interesting story that, now doctors are saying, okay, that's enough. People need to actually get healthy now. And like you and I, we're both big proponents of natural remedies. Because if you can't get it done with a natural remedy, then maybe you should be looking at prescriptions.
Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I I fucking love my ibuprofens, dude. Like, I get a migraine, I take one of those, and it for the most part, it's gone.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking like, major type stuff.
Right.
And if you can cure kidney stones with a drink, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, and that, one of the things, like, and I think I told you this, I forgot to put it on the set, but Ben Shapiro. So there's a lot of videos on Ben Shapiro, and there's one where he's like trashing like students on transgender studies, transgenderism studies.
I watched it. Yeah.
But there's one kid that he's like, what's your background education? He's like all pompous and he's all pompous and shit, and Ben Shapiro's like, okay, like, what's the fucking question, And he's like, well, if you don't have any, like, PhDs or masters in sociology or transgenderism studies, then what makes your, kind of like, and he's like,
your opinion's worth anything?
He's like, I know where you're going with this, and I suggest that whenever you ask a question or you come to debate, like, you don't push a position of authority, meaning I have a PhD, therefore I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah. And he's like, well, no, but then it's just your opinion. He's like, yeah, it's my opinion. It's like again, you're doing your argument based on a position of authority. Like, either my argument is good or it's not, and then you form an opinion based on it. And he's like, well, what makes your opinions like? Because I read the studies and I can form an opinion on it. He's just looking at him simple. Yeah.
Isn't that what anybody's doing that gets up on a stage? Even like I'm not even talking like a theoretical physicist. I'm talking just a physicist that deals in scientific fact, that deals with, things that are rock solid within the scientific community as, say a scientific law.
Yeah.
Even then, once that person steps on stage, 50% of the things that they are saying are subject to some type of opinion that person has of that fact. It's like, I can read any fact I want. I can, a fact will tell me that so-and-so killed so-and-so, and this guy happens to be white and this guy happens to be black. But the things that I can extrapolate from that fact, that this white guy killed a black guy or this black guy killed a white guy, the things that I can bring from just that tiny little fact are immeasurable. I mean, and isn't that what anybody does when they go up on stage?
Yep. Well,
why would you get upset with that? It's like, exactly, you live in a country where it's freedom of speech. And so what you're saying is, I have a PhD, therefore you who do not have no right to speak.
Right. So, And like I said, it's either our arguments are good or they're not, and you just take it. But don't come in trying to protest the guy based on, you know,
Title.
yeah, based on titles and stuff. But well, it's like right now, like and I'll do the disclaimer right now, Lonnie, because we don't want to get sued, but we're not doctors, and we have to say it's fucking bullshit that we have to say, hey, by the way, I'm not a doctor, but I suggest that you know, do this if. You know,
Yeah,
it's either you do it or you're not. Like, obviously, we're not going to come here and say something that can get you killed. Definitely not going to recommend that, but it's something that it's inexpensive, and you can try it, and if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, then fuck, you just look for something else.
Yes,
Right?
and anything that I would ever suggest, especially on a platform like this, where we're talking to more than just you and I, we're talking to people out there that we may not even know. You know, I'm always going to, if I ever give a suggestion on something, I'm usually going to give a suggestion on something medical that I would do myself and is completely safe.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to tell you to go skydiving without a parachute because it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, I might do it if I was a dumbass, you know, but there's absolutely no reason where you're like, reason why you should go, well, you know, Lonnie said it on the podcast, so therefore I'm going to go and, you know, be an adult.
Yeah, so...
You know, with anything you listen to.
So you can't sue us, okay? We just told you. We're not doctors.
It's not fair. You can't do that now.
Yeah, like somebody told me that it's like, well, how come you're, like, I hate people who are proclaimed doctors, and I'm like, I haven't never claimed that I'm such. Like, I'm just saying that I've done these stuff and they work, and that's it. And like I said, either argument is good or it's not. And if you like it,
because
if you like it, try it. Try it. If not, then don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and like I said, I know
serious.
Yeah, and you know, for those guys who don't know who Ben Shapiro is, he's extreme conservative would be kind of an understatement.
That's kind of an understatement. Yes,
yeah, he's a little bit too far than what I fall into as far as political view.
What is the actual definition of conservative and liberal? I mean, because the way I've always seen it, I was probably taught this in school, somewhere, but conservative is you conform to the letter of what the Constitution, or I mean, let's just say any country, you conform to what the letter of the law is, right?
Well, I'll find the matrix for you, because you have conservative on the right, and then you have
liberal on the left.
Liberal on the left, and then you have totalitarian, and then on top,
anarchy.
No, I don't think it's anarchy. It's
no, anarchy is somewhere in the middle. Or it's out of the box completely.
Nihilist?
No, but the way that I always viewed it was that a conservative is, you know, this is what the law says in black and white, whereas a liberal will look at it and say, yes, that's what it says in black and white. However, we live in, you know, that's the progressive type mindset. Not that one is better than the other. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I always thought that liberal meant that here's the letter of the law. However, we live 100 years from when that was written, and there's some things that need to be, you know, conform to.
See, this. Okay, so I guess the matrix changed, Lonnie. I guess now you're either a leftist or a rightist, or a righty. So you're either left or right.
Because labels, you know, piss people off.
Right,
apparently.
And then on top you're authoritarian, and then on the bottom you're a libertarian. Libertarian. So, I mean, like I said, it like, for example, Ben Shapiro has like views where like he's like
super right.
You don't kill babies, like, you know, fetus, sperm, and egg. That's a baby. You don't kill it. You know, I'm a little bit more liberal when it comes to that kind of things. For example, another one would be guns. Like, I'm way too liberal with guns. I'd say if you can afford a tank, you should fucking be able to own a tank.
Well, then you'd be more conservative on that one. right? Because
Well,
what I mean is that say the Constitution of the United States says that you have the right to bear arms according to the Second Amendment. Therefore, if you're going by the letter of the law, if you're going by the black and white, then the right to bear arms is a pretty broad term.
oh, okay. Well, I get. Yeah, I was thinking as far as like,
You mean like actual liberal, like the actual definition of liberal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know if that made sense.
Not the political liberal.
Right. Correct. So. Yeah. But,
Which doesn't make a lot of sense. Now that I think about it, because if I'm not going to get into it, because if we delve into
we're going to go into
political philosophy,
yeah, we're going to go into a freaking rabbit hole.
God. And people just shut it off right now. That's what's going to
be like,
happen.
okay, dude, like, no, dude, like, yeah.
Moving on.
It's just like somebody's like, well, how can you be like all for guns or like not for like just killing babies and stuff, but you're okay with people having guns and being able to kill each other and stuff, and I'm like, that's just my view. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But speaking of guns, Lonnie.
Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yes, we did talk about.
Yeah, we did.
Let's pretend like we didn't talk about it. We did talk about that new Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, the movie. First of all, terrible name.
I know.
They should have just called it Billy Lynn, something like that. But yes,
well,
like
the subject was it's yet another military member that's probably going to suck balls. All right, so We're not like preaching to go watch this movie. It's probably going to suck. It's probably another like propaganda. Bunch of leftist
well, okay. I do have something
about like it's probably one of those anti-war movies. No, it is an anti-war movie because I read the synopsis of like the novel that it's based on, and it is.
That's a tough subject to get into, the whole subject of war. Because nowadays I feel like war is a moneymaker for whatever governments are involved. Yeah. Because to be quite honest with people, if you don't know that money is made from wars, then you need to do a little research.
Yeah,
a country can make a ton of money off of war.
It's a shitload of money. I mean, you got
ridiculous amounts.
For example, I mean, just in the Air Force, if you think about it, like you deploy airplanes, so you got to buy fuel, you gotta buy food, you gotta buy land, or rent, and in our case, rent land, right, from another country.
Yep, and it's good for economies.
Yeah, so that actually moves. There's a lot of flow of money on just that.
It sounds disgusting, because it is.
Yeah, but...
but then on the other hand, you have, like, when is a war justified? And that's what, like most wars, I mean, you see these movies like, Billy Lynn, and that's what I'm going to call it because its real name sucks. You have movies like that, or you have movies like, oh geez, what's that one? The one where Kristen Stewart was in that I didn't watch. The one where she works at Guantanamo Bay.
Oh,
and it's all like anti-prisons, and you have movies like that where you have one extreme where it's like no wars, no matter what.
Right.
It's like, well,
yeah.
There are some wars that I feel were probably necessary, regardless of how they started. That's just the way it had to end because of how it got started. But it sucks because nowadays you live in a time where it's like, yes, we have all this information and you could probably find out everything if you actually researched, but most people don't. So a government knows that, so they'll use that to their advantage and start a war to make ass loads of money.
Yep.
And when do you know? It sucks. And so of course you're going to have a lot of these movies, that are anti-war and stuff, because personally, as a former military member, I think wars are terrible.
Yeah.
And I wish that they didn't exist. But because you see the end result. or the ongoing result of a war. And it sucks. There's nothing that can prepare you for it, like seeing what actual war is like. But you watch these movies and you think that that's what sucks as a military member. You see these movies that glorify all these things, and you're like, dude, that's not it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. That's so rare that you would see any type of glory in any war. It sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
Involved anyway, not the people that are backing it.
Yeah, but anyways, let's change the subject.
Sorry.
Why?
God, we got a lot of low note. This is probably my fault.
Yeah. Why did I? Yeah. Way to fucking go, Lonnie. I wrote Sumi is in shock on the set list. I don't remember what the story was.
I have no idea. If we had it recorded, I'd go back and listen. But
I know it was a good. There has to be a good story because
probably. I do have a good story from work. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to mention his name because I think he is...
Andrew! No, I'm just kidding.
I think he is an awesome person. Like, honestly, I really like working around him because
Does he listen to the podcast?
No, he does not.
Man.
So we're pretty safe, but, I'm going to keep his name off there because there's other people that I work with that listen to this podcast. And anyway.
So you're gonna just throw this guy under the bus right now?
Yes, but nobody's gonna know who it is. That's why I'm saying I'm not gonna put a name out there.
Oh man!
Just first of all, it wasn't me. I actually witnessed it. Okay, so up here it's been snowing.
Can this guy be fired because of this story?
Probably no, not at all. Absolutely not. There's no way.
Are there any anal beads involved?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. All right, I'll stop interrupting. I'm sorry.
Okay. So it had been snowing up here for a while, for the last few weeks, and it's been off and on. Like, some days it's been really bad, and then other days it would clear up and warm up a little bit, so you thought it was going to stop, and then it would just snow again, and just, it's been terrible. And then we had, like, this deep freeze, where all the snow just froze over, and it was on the cars, so it was freezing the windshields and stuff. And it just became really bad. Well, one of the guys that I work with, he has one of those squeegees, like the really long ones that you use to just kind of clean up the floors and stuff.
Yeah.
And on the ends, of course, you have the metal brackets that hold the squeegee in it, right? And those metal brackets go the entire length of the rubber squeegee. Well, those metal brackets are also on the edge a little bit, right? So we see this person, like me and one of my coworkers outside, smoke break, and we see him out there with one of the vans, the company vans, and he's trying to get the ice off of the windshield. So he's got the squeegee turned to one side, the squeegee end hitting the windshield, trying to break the ice off. And he's doing it pretty hard. So hard that you can hear it from across the parking lot going, guh, guh, guh. We just started laughing because we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just slightly heavy hit and he's breaking that windshield because it's already frozen.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I just thought it was hilarious because we're just sitting there and we're trying not to laugh. I'm choking, because I'm laughing so hard.
Did he break it?
No, he did not, but he didn't do it to just one van. He brought in the next one and started doing it on that one. But that was my little story from work. I know it's probably not as funny in the retelling, but it was hilarious.
No,
at the time.
It reminded me of the other one that you told me with the
when I was a kid.
Yeah, you want to tell that one? That was story. Fucking dude.
That was such a great story. Oh, I don't remember how old I was. I just remember the event. I know that I was in high school because I was riding my bike to school. And during the winter, you know the Antelope Valley. I mean, it got pretty cold there during the winter because it's the high desert. Mm-hmm. So we got snow. It's still the desert and it sucks. But we got snow. We got all that kind of stuff. And it got in the teens, maybe in the single digits every now and then. Well, this guy, that we lived a few doors down from, he used to get out, like he was always outside putting stuff in his car when I was getting my bike ready outside the garage to go to school. So I got my bike outside. I got it right outside the garage. I go to grab my backpack and everything, and I see this guy a couple doors down trying to scrape the ice off of his windshield. And I go back inside to grab something. It was probably like my helmet or something like that. And he's not out there. So I get on my bike and I start rolling down the driveway, start going down the street. As I hit the street, he's walking out of his house with a 5-gallon bucket of steaming hot water. And I'm like, oh my God. And he takes that bucket and he dumps it on top of his frozen windshield and immediately spiderwebs the windshield and just throws the bucket, motherfucker! And I had to take off cycling because I was laughing so fucking hard. And I didn't want him to hear me because he's already having a bad day now. But it was so bad because I had guessed what he was doing when he walked out with that bucket. I'm like, there's no way he's going to do that. And then whoosh.
to his defense, though, I probably would have done the same. Because I've never seen snow and I've never seen ice on the fucking windshield until I moved to Washington. And yeah, I mean, thank God for those plastic thingy that, the scrapers.
Scraper, yeah.
Because, yeah, dude, I probably would have done the same. I probably, that would have been like, oh, I'll just throw water to loosen it up, and I'll just, I'll turn the wipers on. So I can kind of get why the guy thought that, hot water, I'll just lose the ice, and then I'll just,
well, it was like one of those scenes in a movie where a guy has like a diamond ring and he taps a window.
Oh, yeah.
And it just spider webs out,
But,
it was just like that.
Yeah, that
so
poor
bad.
guy. Shout out to that guy.
You're never probably going to hear this, but you know what? I still love you because you made so much joy for me that day.
What if one of our listeners is actually going like, yeah, I done them before?
Well, then they need to write in.
I know, right?
We'll have you call in as our first guest or something.
Oh my God, that's so funny, dude.
This is why one day I think we do need, not as a regular, but I kind of like the recording and then putting it out, as opposed to the live. But maybe every now and then we'll do a live show. Maybe. That's dependent on how many listeners we actually get.
Well,
if we get a ton, maybe.
Like, dude, I would hate for my theory to be proved. Like, to be honest, because let's say we get this episode and then, the fucking numbers spike down again. And then I'm like, I decide, you know what, Lonnie, I'm not going to do this Saturday. You go do your own thing. And then the numbers spike up again. And I'm just going to be like, all right, I'm the problem. I got to leave.
No.
As the director, I'm going to fire myself.
I don't even think you can look at that. I don't even think you can look at that because our numbers usually go up, then back down, then up, then back down. So if they were down this week, it wouldn't make any sense for you to take anything from that. I think you need to wait until next week's episode. And if they went down significantly then you can go ahead and put the blame on yourself. But you're not going to stop, Zumi. You're the heart and soul. You're the director.
Yeah, and as the director, I got to make the choice of firing myself.
You're not quitting. Are you going to have a meeting? Like you walk into an office by yourself?
Like, all right, we need to talk. What's up?
Do the whole Smeagol thing from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, it's not working out. It's not working out, precious.
Was that your Smeagol voice?
That's my Smeagol voice.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, forgive me for not being... I'm pretty sure if I could do a Smeagol voice, I'd be working in Hollywood and not, just saying.
No, I don't think you would be.
No?
That's okay. I think you can. I think you can do that with your directing skills.
You don't think I can be like a cartoon voice? Like I can voice like that one character who just comes in and says something awkward, like, "Hey, what's up?"
Maybe. Oh my gosh. Ooh, did you hear my belly
No,
rumbling?
I didn't, but
I'm getting gas.
it's fucking nasty.
My goodness, I'm gonna try to keep it off the podcast, but that's okay.
So we don't have any questions for this week, right?
Well, we did have the ones that we didn't get to. We can read those if you want to.
We didn't get to.
Let me see.
I thought it was the Valentine's one, like the.
Yes, but we didn't actually record it.
No, but I mean this week.
No. We had that one. If you scroll down in the set list that I put up, we have 2 more questions.
Oh. No,
okay,
we talked about this.
Yes, we did talk about it, but we didn't actually record it.
Boobies in public.
Okay, breastfeeding in public. Let's do the quick synopsis of what we said. Breastfeeding in public. Who cares? You got to feed your kid. Do it if you're comfortable. If you don't want to be around some of the freaks that are actually out there, because there are some, then go do it in a bathroom or wait till you get home.
Yeah,
or bring a blanket.
Yeah, bring a bottle, because, well, I told you about this story, right? Like I'm like one of the few, I guess, fathers that actually do take or go with the wife to have their kids take their shots.
Yep, because Mexico has a different culture.
Yeah, and when I went there, we have a baby in hand. A lot of ladies have a baby in hand. And this motherfucking lady just fucking pulls out the tit out and just smacks it on the boy, and it's like in my field of vision, and I'm.
Well, you're not ready for it.
Yeah, and I can't look away. I can't just go like, oh, she's about to breastfeed, but let me look over. Let me do the gentleman thing and look away. No, it was like I saw a titty, and then it went into this baby's mouth, and I can still see your halo. And part of me is going, I should probably look away, but as one of my friends used to say, once you see a pair, you want to see them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
it happens.
I mean, if it's in my
I
field...
wouldn't know, but it happens.
If it's in my field of vision, like, I can't fucking look away, man. You can't, you have no right to stare at me like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like I'm the pervert. You can't do that.
Okay, then let's make an exception here. Let's say, if you're okay with the fact that men are men, and it or even women that enjoy women, they're out there too. Now, if you whip it out, chances are someone will see it, and they're gonna linger on that look for a little while, just because that mindset may not register with them right away.
Yeah,
maybe I should be looking away.
Yeah, my reptilian brain at that point is going, fuck it. And then,
so that's what we were basically saying on breastfeeding.
Yeah,
in public.
I mean, like I said,
if you got to do it, just do it.
I'm all for it. Like I actually support this. I think like this has been an issue for like military women.
Yeah.
It's always been a freaking argument of like whether or not military women should be allowed to breastfeed while wearing the uniform in public, and I say you should be able to do it.
Yeah, because you allowed you have women in the military,
How?
and I'm not going to say let them in. We made it so that women could experience the military or, be employed by the military. Why would you start restricting all of their natural body functions?
Well, I think the argument, the argument's always been that it desecrates, is that the right word? The uniform. That it's an insult.
Or it's disrespectful to the uniform.
And I think
get what they're trying to say, but I think it's ridiculous.
I call bullshit on that one.
Maybe those men that are making those decisions are just not comfortable enough with themselves to understand that women need to feed their babies.
Well, yeah. And I'm just saying, like, if you're a guy and you it's almost about the same as saying, like, because I have a special need. Like, let's say I broke my arm or whatever, right? And I need to I need to be wearing something to hold my arm in place so it doesn't move. Then, that is technically doesn't belong to the uniform. Then maybe you shouldn't be wearing the uniform.
So what if you're let's say you're holding your kid before you go on a deployment?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and the kid throws up on you or something like that.
Right,
Did you just desecrate the uniform?
Yeah, that's
Come on.
That's exactly my point, right?
Yeah, it seems like they're reaching, but yeah, that was basically our whole breastfeeding in public rant. It was a little longer on the previous episode, but I think it was a little too long. We lingered on it too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about titties. We really...
It's hard to stop.
It's hard to stop. Like I said, once you see a pair, you want to see them all.
Yeah.
Which, by the way...
It's understandable.
Speaking of titties...
And here we go.
No, I'm not gonna... I think I had a tit story to tell you, but I don't think I'm gonna.
Okay. Well, did you want to get to the that other question, or did you want to just skip this and save it for next week?
Yeah, we'll see.
Because I'm gonna be taking a pee break here.
Are you really?
Yes, I am, but nobody else is gonna notice.
I know. We'll see you in a couple. We'll see you in like a split second, people.
Oh, okay. We're taking it now. Okay. We'll be back. And we're back.
Told you Sorry that was going to be fast.
It was fast. I mean, that was like a whole half second.
I know.
All right, so we're done with mailbag questions for now. Since you people out there, our beloved listeners, don't really send us a whole lot, am I really going to have to start making up questions?
I mean, you could.
I could, but it's not as fun because it's my brain asking my brain a question. So it's, it doesn't make any sense. So people, start sending some questions and comments and anything you want in. I don't care if you send in something that says, yo, you're a couple of douchebags, you fucking suck, you should kill yourselves. Send it in. I'll read it.
I won't.
I will, and it'll be awesome.
Why would I want to read that, Bonnie?
To make fun of the sender.
Like, do you know how many times I've been called a douchebag or an asshole?
Well, I get called an asshole every day, so I guess I'm used to it. So anyway, let's move on. Let's keep this interesting. So we just talked and did our mailbag, talked about breastfeeding, nipples, and talked about Valentine's Day, the Super Bowl, and how much you guys are starting to actually tell your friends and stuff, so we do appreciate that, by the way. That is awesome.
Yeah, we really do. Keep doing it. Please.
As much as I beg you to write in questions, I'd still rather have you listening. If that's what's going to happen, that's fine. We really enjoy the fact that you guys enjoy the podcast, so thank you. So I did have something to tell you, and I told you right before we started recording that kind of got lucky with the recording time because my neighbors decided they were going to blast their music, like right before, and I was like, oh shit, but they stopped. But I was going to ask you, like, the thing that annoys the shit out of me, especially when I'm trying to go to sleep, is those people that, blast their music in their car in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. Who is that for?
Dude, I call it, they're fucking douchebags. Like, that's my definition of a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, if you do that, please stop. Because you're not really impressing anybody with your awesome sound system. Seriously, you are not doing anything but making people think that you're an asshole. So I'm just wondering, if you do that and you have a reason for doing it, tell us what it is, because I still can't figure it out.
Well, I told you this, like, I actually drove right next to one. Well, it's not that I drove next to him. The fucking asshole just started in a way harassing us, like in a car. And well, first of all, like, you can understand there's like a level of douchiness and a level of, like, I don't know if you can call it like the equal to like a white trash, but in Mexico, I just call him a piece of shit. But
brown trash,
maybe. Well, here's the thing. Here's the premise. Like, I'll set the stage for you just so you can get an idea how, like, fucking moronic these people are. Well,
I'm prepared.
First of all, okay, they're listening to like this loud fucking music. You can't even like if you're driving and like let's say an ambulance is like behind you, you probably won't be able to listen to like emergency vehicles, right? So safety a hazard.
Sure.
One, but all right.
You're gonna go with that first, okay? Right.
Next, the guy he's like one of those like metrosexual looking motherfuckers. You know, they plug their eyebrows out and stuff. They want to look clean and stuff. They have that hipster fucking haircut where they just like cut the line now. Have you seen that? Like
yes.
Like Cristiano Ronaldo type haircut.
Sure,
yeah. So right there, automatic douchebag. And then
obviously,
and then his car is a piece of shit Honda Civic. Because it has to be Civic, because that's what they drove on the Fast and the Furious, the first movie, right? It's all Hondas.
Well, that's not all Hondas.
Well, but most of the cars that they show off, they're Hondas, right? But
yeah, or a Toyota Supra, or a okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
Let me finish, please. So it's not like a brand new Honda. It's like a 1995 beat to shit. The fucking paint is faded out.
The rims are awesome.
No. There's no rims. It's just a piece of shit Honda. But because when you accelerate, they sound full fucking loud. You know, they've done alterations to the muffler probably to make more noise.
Well, that makes it go faster, right?
No, it doesn't.
Oh. I'm sorry.
So he's stepping on the gas like our blocks. They're not like blocks that you see in the States. They're smaller blocks and they're stop signs like every single fucking because they're just one boulevard, right? So he's like going stop, and I'm pretty sure this fucking guy had like studded tires. Because every time he burned rubber, and I do air quotes on burn rubber, there are like sparks on the fucking on the tires. So I'm like, dude, you're such a fucking moron.
The level of your douchiness knows no bounds.
But he's like, you know, he's like going old gangster and stuff, like driving with just one hand. And
oh, you mean he's like in the back seat?
Yeah.
Like he's leaned back so far, he's laying on the back seat.
Oh my god, I was just like, dude. And he's trying to like, he's trying to like drive fast and like go over and like cut people in front of him and stuff. And it's just like, dude.
That's what I mean. Who is that for?
I know, right? And it's just like,
I mean, is he thinking that there's somebody that is
maybe
like watching him going, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, or a girl.
That's not happening.
Or a girl's gonna like wearing a miniskirt's gonna go like, oh my god, you have a piece of shit Honda and you burn rubber and sparks come out. I want your dick in my pussy.
Has that ever worked?
I don't think so.
Seriously, has that ever worked? Does that even work on hookers?
No.
I mean,
no.
I don't get. Like, okay, you say, like, you know, the swerving in and out with a piece of shit car. Or, like I say, the turning the music up, in a residential area.
Yeah, well, he had his music playing aloud as well. Like,
well, that's what I mean. It's like, I'm just asking, who the fuck is that for? Are those people just building up their own confidence with false hope? Like that somebody out there that's asleep is going to wake up and go, wow, that guy has an awesome sound system.
I know.
I just don't get it. It's not even about courtesy at that point. It's like, fuck the courtesy. You know, I get that most of these younger I say kids. I know it's terrible. It makes me sound old. Some of these young kids nowadays.
How old are you?
Most of them just have no regard for, you know, other people. I get that. I'm not talking about that. I'm asking, why the fuck what are you getting out of swerving in and out of cars, turning your music up loud as hell in the middle of the night? What are you actually getting out of that?
And driving a piece of shit car. Let's not forget that.
And driving a piece of shit car. What are you getting?
Paint all faded out.
How is that fun?
I don't know. I mean, I can expect this from a BMW driver, but
Okay, if I was to look outside and I saw a Lamborghini
I
and
mean,
it was blasting music, I might not say anything.
yeah.
I'd probably wake up the wife and go, "Baby, look, fucking Lamborghini."
Yeah.
But you're driving a piece of shit. Even if it's like, something that's been, somebody put a little bit of money into. It's like where it, like one of these tuner cars where they put like 20 grand into their car and they're proud of it. Awesome. I still think you're a douchebag because it's still a fucking Honda.
Well, and it's just
or
not.
It's still a 1998 BMW.
And let me say this too. Like it's a Honda Civic, 4 cylinders.
Is it a CRX?
No, it's 4 cylinders. I mean, come on, dude.
I don't know because the older Porsches had only 4 cylinders, but it's a Porsche, so
Yeah. I mean,
I could get into that. I'm not going to get into that discussion, but yes, it's a piece of shit car. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my Honda. It takes me to point A to point B, give me great gas mileage. But I don't fucking go cruising for chicks, and I don't go swerving in and out, cutting people off, and blasting my accelerator like I have a race car. I don't have a race car, dude. Come on, you don't have a race car.
No, and that's what I mean. I'm just asking because I try to put myself in that situation when I hear things like that in the middle of the night, or I see people like that driving around town. I try to put myself in that situation just to make sure I'm fully grasping the situation. It's like, if I was that guy, what am I getting from this? No, seriously. I know it's a stupid and like totally over the top adult thing to say, but it's seriously, what the fuck are you gaining by doing these things? Do you laugh with your friends?
I don't know, man.
That doesn't even make sense because the people that I see doing this like music shit in the middle of the night are alone in their car.
No, maybe it's an invitation. Like, hey, this is where the party's at. We're all
But
skanky.
When has that ever worked?
Probably never. But it's probably I have this theory. Like maybe maybe it falls into this scenario as well. But you know how like sometimes you break up with like a girlfriend or whatever, or you say, you know what, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, and then all of a sudden you go like, well, maybe I do want to come back, even though you like beat the shit out of me or whatever, or you cheated on me. This is my theory. I think the reason why you do it is because your fantasy or the movie that you played in your head using your imagination is way fucking better and more attractive than
well, of
reality,
course it is,
right? So
of course it is, but
so think about this poor innocent guy, or this poor guy,
poor innocent. Okay,
this poor
we're gonna
innocent
go down that road.
Yeah, this poor innocent guy that's blasting his music. In
Douchebag.
his mind, he's like, if I play this, the woman of my dream will come out and party it out with me, and she'll actually go and be like, oh, like this is such an amazing sound system that you have. Let me suck your dick. So he just goes on wandering this world alone, blasting his music, searching for this imagination or this imagined picture or movie that he played in mind over and over again, with that illusion of like, maybe this is my fairy tale, it's gonna come true one day. But the only way it can come true is if I do it every single fucking weekend.
Okay. Here's my retort.
Is that not a good theory?
Okay, the theory holds water. However, I have this type of imagination too sometimes. My imagination is glorious sometimes, and I can come up with all kinds of shit in my own mind. However, I live in the real world, and I know that if I just blast my music in a residential area, that some 9 or a 10 chick is not going to just come strolling down the street and get in the car and say, let's go fuck somewhere.
Well, Lonnie, how do you know? That's what I'm saying. Like Hume teaches us that...
Because I'm a realist.
Hume teaches us that no matter...
Oh my God.
That if you have a rock and you drop it, no matter how many times you do it, you never know what's going to happen next.
Okay. Here's my proof that it doesn't work. I myself have never tested this theory. Right?
Right.
However, I have watched the experts test it out. I've watched the students of this science test it numerous times, and not once has any woman of any position in the scale from 1 to 10 ever even walked close to that vehicle. To me, it seems more like a deterrent. Well, the theory has been broken. Stop it. Your hypothesis sucks. I'm just saying.
Well, to play devil's advocate, I saw Tokyo Drift, man. I mean, that shit's gotta be true.
Yes, and of course, there's half-naked Asian women hanging around all these cars all the time.
Which, by the way, like, I'm gonna change the subject here. Speaking of Tokyo Drift, like, have you heard about this fucking shit that's going on in Japan? Like, of people not having sex?
Oh, you mean like how they have these new... Okay, I have heard of it because I actually watched the is it the Vice channel? They had a whole segment on...
I saw a documentary on it.
Well, it might be the same
sex.
thing.
Well,
no, it wasn't the same thing because this had to do with in Japan, especially in Tokyo, they have there's an alarming rate of people just not having kids anymore.
Yeah, those are that's the one. It's the people without...
It's like children of men type shit.
Yeah, people are not having sex.
Okay, and basically what's happening is there are these clubs where men can go, and then there's clubs where women can go, and there is a what do you call them? They're not escorts because they don't actually have sex with the people.
Okay, maybe this is a different one. Okay.
No, this is just one part. There's multiple things within this. This type of club, a person will go in, and there'll be a person that works there of the opposite sex, or, depending on your, orientation, you can rent out, and they're part of your party. Like, you'll have like 3 or 4 girls with you, and you'll go there, and there'll be some guy who's typically a very good-looking guy, and he will be your host. But he flirts with you. He, pours your drinks. He gets you your food. He massages you. It does all that, bullshit stuff that you used to do when you were dating, right? And then once you leave, that's it. And then they have these other ones where they have entire hotels that are reserved just for fantasy. Like, you can go there and say, my fantasy is to, be with 3 chicks at the same time, and they have 3 chicks, but of course they're not going to get pregnant. They're prostitutes, and there's not going to be any kids from that. And then on top of that, it gets even crazier because they are actively pursuing getting the perfect sex doll.
Okay, this is a different one. But...
Okay, this is just part of it then. What I'm saying is that yes, Japan has a problem.
Yeah. So,
and most of their younger generation has just completely abandoned any social media that has to do with flirting or hooking up or anything like that because it's worthless. I can just go down to this place and have some really good-looking guy who treats me like a human being and then go home and not have a kid.
Yeah. Well, the one I saw, they call it the without sex. I think that's the name. It's, kind of dumb, but
it's a virtual reality.
So essentially, what's happening is that because porn and like those crazy fantasy plays that you're talking about are available, what men are doing is that they're not having sex with actual like physical females. there's these places where they can go and they play like anime, porno, or like hentai, or like just porn, and just
whatever shit they're into,
and just jerk it off, dude. And that's it. And they just go home and they just like, and they're interviewing people, and he's like, yeah, I mean, it's so much fucking work to date. I have to like know the person, take her out, and this and that, and then I have to like get physical and like exchange bodily fluids and stuff, and it's just fucking
and
nasty.
have that danger of getting an STD.
I can just go to this place, sit down, put whatever DVD that I want, and I can just jerk it off, and I'm done. Like,
well,
so
honestly, to a certain degree, can you blame them?
I yes and no.
I mean, yes, I would say yes, because I still feel like there's a lot to be said about having an actual relationship with someone that you fall in love with.
I will say yes, because I can blame him, because it's like, dude, stop being a fucking pussy, be a fucking man.
Yes.
But the no part of I can't blame him is that, it's been in Japan, like the culture is different, dude. Like they've been pushing fucking things forever. Like, you should be in this certain way, you should have this structure, you have this discipline. If you lose your job, you're a piece of shit. Type thing. I mean, everything it's like almost like set in stone. It has to be this way. It has to be this way.
Yeah.
It has to be this way. And now women are actually joining the club, to where, like, if they're married, like, they're not looking for affairs if they're neglected. They're just like, well, I guess I'm not fucking having sex, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's sad, though.
Yeah,
oh
yeah, it is. It is really sad. So my thing is, Lonnie, if we're gonna make a pact right here, is if by any chance we ever go single,
I'm not fucking you, Zumi.
No, we're going to Japan, because women over there are gonna be fucking crazy horny.
Are they though?
Yes,
because they're going to these clubs too.
This is what's happening with some. Well, on the one that I saw, this some group of people, because the whole hentai thing is such a big thing. Girls are actually making alterations to look like hentai characters.
Oh, I've seen that. Shit. I've even seen the stuff where they add tentacles to their fucking hands.
Yeah, and they interview
fuck?
They interview these chicks, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they're like, so they interview these chicks, and they're like, "What the hell? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you like dressing and making alterations to look like a hentai character?" And they're like, "This is the only way I can get guys to like ask me on dates."
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I know, they want to go out on dates. They want to. That was my baby.
You sure that wasn't something dying?
No, that was the baby.
That's what makes the podcast great. It's okay.
I know, just random like shrieks and.
That was the GIMP. Nobody worried.
So yeah, so they're gonna be crazy.
That sucks, though.
They're gonna be crazy horny over there. So we're there if we're ever like,
Yeah, if Christelle ever dumps me, I might think about it. Yeah. I might be too sad, but that's okay.
Dude, what you're gonna be like? You're gonna get over it with like 2 or 3 Japanese, and then girls.
Yeah, they're too short.
I know. That's what.
So bad. No, I think that could actually become a really big problem.
Yeah, I mean,
like, because now it's actually registering as a problem.
I'm gonna be a dying breed.
You mean half of you is gonna be a dying breed?
Well, yeah, but
yeah. Be true to yourself, Sumi.
All right. So
no, that sucks. I mean, I saw that one. I'm pretty sure it was a Vice episode on YouTube that had to do with all of these, alternate options to sex or relationships in general.
Yeah,
it's like, man.
But I have seen.
Get why, but I blame both sexes, honestly, because you can't just go around and say, well, women make it so difficult in the relationship process. It's like, well, yeah, but so do men.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's where it started. And then, of course, you have the Japanese culture where it's like, they still have, like the family type thing where like the father says, you know, I'm sorry, but you are going to be marrying so and so, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, you don't see that as much like the arranged marriages, but
Yeah.
but what you do see is a upbringing where is you have to pick somebody, and if you marry somebody, there's no divorce.
Yeah.
So you can be married to a piece of shit, and that's, I mean,
Oh well.
oh well.
Yeah.
Because divorce is still frowned upon. Like, it brings a lot of disgrace to the family.
Yeah.
So
It's messed up.
yeah, I'm glad I'm not in Japan, because like.
Well, oh jeez, I mean, trying to get out of a dark subject. I mean, I did ask you this, but I'm gonna ask you again. I just saw Anna walk by. Hello, Anna. The most common names in Mexico, and I think you said that the most common female name was Maria.
Yep.
And the most common male name, is that more like Jose?
Yep.
See, it's basically like here, like Mary and John.
Well, John
or
would be
Joseph.
Yeah, John would be Juan.
Yeah, Juan. But Juan is pretty.
Juan in a million.
Yeah,
or a
Juan
million,
in a million.
Or a million to Juan.
Yeah. So basically,
or two
the
for
same.
Juan.
But I had an infographic that shows like the most popular names over the years in the U.S. It's actually really cool to see like how some things became big, but it also it correlates with movies that came out, like especially like in the 30s and 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like something like the Backstreet Boys. Like
it could too.
Yeah. Like I remember, like there was a thing like when at least when the Backstreet Boys were big, and this is why I didn't like the Backstreet Boys. It was like all of a sudden like babies were being like named like Kevin or Brian, Nick Gonzalez. It's just like, what the fuck, Brian Fernandez. It's like,
well, that's why they said there's a.
But it wasn't
since 1999. There's been a lot of Anakins in the U.S.
But it wasn't Brian as in BRI. That's how you spell it, like, right? It's I or Y.
I've heard it several ways. But the two most common ones that I think are BRYAN and BRIAN.
Well, the Mexicans got, because they have to spell it phonetically, right?
Yeah.
Fucking
of
assholes.
course.
So they spell it Brian. So so then when you read it in Spanish, it sounds like Brian.
And we're like, the fuck, Brian?
Like,
okay.
Oh
is that a given name? I mean, is that your dad's name?
But yeah, Brian Fernandez.
Brian Fernandez.
Yeah.
That's an odd combo.
Tiffany Lopez.
Tiffany Lopez. Oh, she's gonna be a stripper. Poor thing. What options do you have? I mean, right? But yeah, I had asked you that, and I wanted to make sure that we went over that because I find it really interesting, the trends that happen. Like I was just telling you, is that since 1999, there's been a ton of people naming their son Anakin. It's like, first of all, why would you do that? Because it didn't really end up that well for Anakin. Just saying.
Well, I was like, one of my, like, I follow Jorodowski, right? Mm-hmm. And Jorodowski makes a claim, and it's not, granted, it's not backed by research, but I did find it interesting. And he said, like, a lot of people that he treats in like Latin America, because he goes to Chile a lot, so it's not just Mexico. But you're saying that a lot of people that are named Jesus tend to have a lot of illnesses and die at around 30. You
mean like around 33?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And and it's mostly because they like mom or dad went like, oh, we're gonna name him Jesus, like like Jesus. Ex- but if you say something like, I'm gonna give you Jesus like your uncle that was like wealthy or whatever, then they tend to have a different upbringing.
Well, it's the whole theory of handles. The
But and here's the saying, like most of those Jesus that are having illnesses and stuff, it's because or those are always the guys that have like mom issues and daddy issues. As far as you know, dad is it's not in the picture, right? And mom is like overprotective because it's he's my little Jesus.
that sounds like a really highly Catholic view of Jesus.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yes, and like the people that he treats that are named Jesus, that he said that that's like one common thing that he found that he has found, but like I
Do you have
said,
any Lucifers down there?
there's no, not. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't know about that one, but
I have met a Lucifer.
like I said, it's not backed up by research or anything like that. It's just his experience, and that's one of them that he's talking. And with Maria's, dude,
They think they're God's gift.
yeah. Well, no, like the Virgin Mary, like we'll think about it, and it's like that's why a lot of Marias that are in Latin America like are single mothers.
Well,
And it makes perfect sense, right?
yeah, but how would you argue it?
Well, think about it. It's a woman that gets pregnant, right?
Yeah.
By somebody else, the spirit, quote
Yeah.
unquote, and then you find somebody who's going to take care of you for the rest of your life, i.e., Joseph.
Sounds like a self-fulfilling prophecy, though.
Yep.
Like I had said, it's the theory of handles. Like what you name your children, or even how you speak to your children, the way that you either praise them or you bring them down. That affects them, and you don't tend to think of names as something that would affect your kid.
No, but it does.
In some way. Oh, but it does.
Yeah. Oh, but
It does. If you name your kid Shithead, he's going to think he's a shithead.
Yeah. And I mean, there is one research that I do like, and it's based on not the like name given, but it's people whose names are closer to the alphabet tend to be more successful than those who are not.
Closer to the alphabet?
Or to the beginning letters of the alphabet.
Oh, okay.
So your A, B, C's, those are the names that tend to be on the higher, like 1%, 10%.
So you're saying I'm mediocre?
Yeah. Well,
because mine starts with an L.
Well, mine's an R, but if I start going by Bob, I tend to have better chances.
That's weird.
Yeah, but
I wonder if somebody would be willing to do the study on that.
There is a study.
Is it ongoing?
I don't know if it's ongoing.
It has to be, right?
But I remember reading this study. It's an actual.
You'll have to send me the link to that, because that kind of stuff I actually really find interesting.
I don't have links.
Especially anything with like child development and stuff, because
I don't have access to journal articles anymore.
Well, I have an EDU account, so.
Oh, okay. So I'll look for it, and I'll just like.
Which, by the way, it's amazing the stuff you can do with a student's email.
Yeah.
Like if you have a student email, first of all, you can get tons of discounts.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can eat for free like twice a year, and you can get free sodas, and I mean, seriously, there's tons of stuff. We just looked it up. Yes. I think McDonald's will actually give you a free small soft drink on Saturdays.
Wow.
And all you have to do is show your student ID, college ID. Like, they don't give a shit about high school and below, because of course they're going to come in and get their, it's high schoolers. But no, that I actually really find all that stuff interesting, because I did some stuff when I was doing that Royal Rangers thing, the Boy Scouts type of thing, where you have a lot of abused children and a lot of neglected children, and they kind of drop them off there, to like not have to deal with their own kid. So you have to kind of look for signs and stuff, whether the kids are being abused or neglected and stuff, and any of that type of stuff, like, I really find interesting because it's the development of the human mind is really, really amazing. But anyway, speaking of the human mind, something that we should get to a little bit, and Christelle and I talked about this on the, maybe we did. Did we talk about the ADD and stuff like that on the podcast?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and you and I are more of the mindset that, yes, there are some conditions that are probably founded in scientific reality. However, there are some, like ADHD and all these numerous amounts of, attention deficit type of disorders, where I'm pretty sure that's bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean, there's more like media coverage now.
Yeah.
Then one of the things that they're arguing is that whether or not ADD and ADHD, whatever the fuck, is being overdiagnosed.
Yeah.
As far as, are they? Because dude, I mean, I have the DSM-5, right?
Yeah.
And on the DSM-5, it's essentially what it's saying is if you look for these symptoms, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a checklist. If your kid has this, like you just check mark it, and then you can say, boom, you have ADD or ADHD. And it's just one of those things where, like, there's really no tests.
And it's not founded in scientific method at all.
That they do, right? Yeah. And it's just like, well, maybe you're just labeling, or you just found another fucking excuse for a kid to say, I'm handicapped, therefore I'm justified.
Yeah. Or you're handing them, some type of crippling effect.
Yeah.
It's like you tell some kid that, you have this, well, automatically they think they're disabled in some way. And it, like we were saying with names,
well,
it affects them in
kids aren't stupid.
Not at all.
If I were to tell my toddler, oh, son, the reason why you're I don't know, let me think of a good example. Well, the reason why you're not good at math is because you have this disease that's called ADD. And if my son believes that, he's gonna go, well, I have ADD, therefore I am not good at math, and these math problems that you want me to do, teacher, I'm not going to do it because I'm not good, because I have ADD. Here's my thingy.
And that's such a cruel thing to do, especially to kids. It's cruel to do to adults, is to say that you have this type of mental disability. And I'm not talking like, saying you have schizophrenia. I'm talking like you have, this thing that we found, 2 years ago that, we really don't have any scientific backing for. We just labeled it this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why are you doing that? Because we know that these kids can excel if they just do it this way.
Yeah.
Or if they do it this way, or whatever way works for them. Like, one of the, I think I heard it from a movie once, but it stands true. It's the, you can teach a monkey how to speak Japanese. You just have to know the right tools to associate with.
Yeah.
If you just learn how a child, because nobody learns the same. Nobody.
Yeah, on that we
we all have like they always give you like the three main ways of learning, auditory, visual, and doing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, but there are literally millions of different ways to learn, and it all depends on how that person learns. And like, I use the rule of association. If I'm not interested in a subject, I have to associate it with something that I do enjoy, or else I'm just not going to give a shit. So if it's something that I really hate and I'm going to school for it, it's like, all right, I have to make this interesting in some way. Not really interesting, but enough to where I'm going to actually pay attention and I'm going to do it. So, I like Star Wars, and I know as goofy as it sounds, I mean, it works. It's like if I just associate this problem with the Death Star or something like that, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to hate myself because of how much of a nerd I am, but, I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
And that's all that these kids have, is they just have a different way of learning, and we're labeling it as if it's something bad.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I think sometimes it's not that I'm throwing the teachers under the bus, but in a way I'm gonna, yeah. Because, well, think about it. Like, you have a problem child, somebody's like doesn't pay attention to you or whatever, and he's just like causing mayhem in class, and it's easier for you to say your kid has ADD or ADHD. I can't have him in my class because he's distracting the other students that actually do listen to me, and I don't want to deal with that shit. So
Yes, but
let's send him to a specialized school where I don't have to deal with it.
yes,
Does that make sense?
Yes, and that's crippling the kid. I mean, this is why I've always believed in the apprenticeship program for schools. Where you have a basic education. Everybody has the basic education that has to do with basic arithmetic, language skills, and things of that nature. Like the elementary type level of education. But then beyond that, because of the way that everybody has a different way of learning, why not apprentice out?
Yeah.
And say, like, this kid just cannot learn in this type of, classroom. Say, like, he excels in woodshop, but he sucks at math. Like, he can't even do consumer math. But for some reason, when he has to do measurements and he has to do, angles and all that stuff for woodshop, he's fantastic. Well, then just associate it. And then, so my ideal was with the apprenticeship program is like, you're going back to like medieval type era, but it still worked.
Yeah.
It's like the kid was, say a kid was really strong, and like you always saw him outside and he was like hitting rocks and stuff like that. And he just always had an affinity for building things. Okay, well, he's a blacksmith, or he might be good at being a blacksmith. So what do? You send him to the local blacksmith. And that guy would take the kid, and he would feed him, house him, do all that type of stuff. I'm not saying we have to go that extreme. We live in the modern era, but, why not do that type of thing with kids? I think it's a travesty that we got rid of woodshop and home ec and band and all of these things in schools.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that a lot of these things, like I said, I think they're crippling kids. I think that they're stunting their growth in some way, I guess you could say. Because to me, it just seems ridiculous that you'd have so many different labels, that are just destroying a kid's future in some way. So yeah, as an answer to that, I think that a lot of those things are just fake.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily fake. I just think they're overused. I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be like certain cases where it's like, yeah, okay, you do have something like this, but I don't think
every kid that can't pay attention in class has
right,
ADD.
yeah, therefore has ADD. No, no, that's ludicrous.
Yeah, it is. And it's sad. But do we have any lighter notes to talk about before we start, rounding things up?
Yeah, sure. I was gonna close out with another border story.
I love border stories. Border stories.
This one actually involves my brother Mike, and I don't know if you met Mike yet.
Never.
Okay. Well, Mike's English has never actually gotten any better. so he has that thick Mexican accent, you know.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
so it's always go like, my dad. he work on the flowers. we have a house in Mexico. Type, that type of accent. So,
sure.
So, anyways, I have and I have a shitload of like border stories of him, but this one particular, it's one of the lighter ones, and it's short, right? So, so we're at the border, and Mike decided that because he stays, in the States the whole week for work and then comes back on the weekends, he decided he was gonna buy like potato chips and like candy and stuff that you don't find in the States, not even in the Mexican stores. Yeah.
Okay.
Was that shot good?
Sorry. Yes, it was fantastic. Go ahead.
You just took a shot of what? Is that whiskey?
Yes.
Oh my god. Dude.
From the bottle, like a heathen.
Ugh. Anyway, I even got goosebumps on that one. But anyway, so we're there, and he's driving, right? And he's like, what should I tell the border patrol guy? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, well,
like nothing.
Like,
just shut the fuck up.
I bought, I bought this stuff. I bought churritos and like potato chips and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, what you would say, like maybe like, I don't know, like Mexican candy. And so it's like 20 minutes pass by, and we we get the police officer or border patrol agent, whatever they call him.
Ice.
This straight up like blonde, just a white chick, right?
Okay.
So
I assumed that when you said blonde. Okay.
so just this plain white chick. So she's asking like, where you going? And my brother's like, Encinitas.
It's funny because you can't even do the accent
no,
anymore.
I can't do it. And he's like, so what are you doing in Encinitas? Like, oh, we got family, and then Encinitas, and I'm just going like
this is going awesome.
I'm going like, Mike, like you should have let me drive. And then he's like, you bring anything back from Mexico? And he just straight up looks at he just goes like, I got some Mexican candy. Dude.
Like, oh, this is so bad. She's totally gonna arrest us.
I'm like going down, and we were lucky enough that the border patrol agent got a laugh of the way he said Mexican candy. So she let us pass, and I'm looking at him like, Mike, like what the fuck was that? He's like, what? He's like, dude, Mexican candy, really?
We look like a bunch of perverts now. This is awesome.
So, but I was thinking like, like just by saying Mexican candy, like he's gonna think like we have like drugs.
It's candy.
He's like, I got Mexican candy.
How do you spell that? Is it Cundy? Candy?
Candy? Yeah.
Candy?
Candy. See, you can imagine this poor lady, dude. Like, I'm glad she just got a laugh. I just was like, yeah, you can.
She's seen worse.
Probably, but he's like, Mexican candy.
That's, you know what? You should start your own brand down in Mexico, and it should be spelled with a U instead of an A.
Kundi.
Kundi. Mexican kundi. No, that kind of sounds Indian, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mexican kundi. With a bacon slushy.
Oh man. So yeah. So hopefully you got a chuckle out of that one. But I did. I have a better one. Like that's not that's not the first. That's not the first, and I don't think it'll be the last time. Like his thick accent, like got us or almost got us in trouble.
Is there any way to get Mike on the podcast?
I'd rather not.
You'd rather not. Not even for like a 5-minute.
No,
like
no.
Bad things happen to
No.
good people. Okay, all right.
Like,
Well, when
dude,
are you gonna be able to get Tomas on at any time,
let's
or
not
is he
count
just?
We're not counting. I have like other stories. Like my mom. Like I don't know if it's dyslexia. I don't know if she's deaf or going deaf, or she's just plain
Selective hearing.
Yeah, or she's just playing like dumb. Like for example, the other day I come in and I say, "Hey, I got you a burger. Let's eat." And she's like, and she answers something completely off the wall.
Like what?
Like, well,
Like, no, I didn't want soup.
No, like tell me something, and I'll just give you an example of this.
Tell you something?
Yeah, just
This
make,
is a weird game.
Just make a comment, like just a random comment about something.
Your hair looks fantastic today.
Oh, yeah, like your uncle bought me that the other day.
What?
Exactly. So I come in and I go like, "Mom, like here, I got you some food," and she's like, "Oh yeah, like your father got me this thing, and he couldn't install it," and I'm like, "What?"
Are you sure she's
And
just
I'm
not
like-
focused on something
I'm
and
like-
she's pissed?
I'm like, the food is ready. And she's like, "Oh, I thought you asked me about this thing that your dad did." I'm like, "No." It's not
I don't
even...
think you have to be worried. I think she might just be focused on something that she's annoyed with.
But we can be having a regular conversation like right now where her attention's on me and she'll just say something random.
Can we test this?
I mean, we can try.
You'll be like, "Hey, Mom, do you want me to get you a sandwich down from the shop?" And she'll be like, "Yeah, that's the reason for social outings." Like, the fuck?
Yeah, it's something like that, dude. So I don't
Maybe
know.
it's a code.
If it's a
Is
code,
she in the CIA?
I haven't
Or
deciphered
no.
it.
Is she part of the Federale?
I don't know. So
She's just been in for so long, she doesn't know how to talk anymore.
yeah. So yeah, so I don't know. Like maybe brain's not catching up. Like I guess dyslexia will kind of be like that too, right? Like
Maybe, in a way. I suppose. I guess it could.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I know how it works. Like as far as like you see 80 and you write
DA.
DA. Yeah.
Or, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I want to test it.
But it's so fucking random comments. Like,
Does your mom have Skype?
no.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably not
see.
gonna. No, I'm not. I can make.
You're not going to subject your mother to.
I can make
an
fun of my
interview?
mom. You can.
But I've met her. It's okay.
That is.
Oh wait,
true.
no, that's not the rule. The rule was we can make all the jokes we want about each other's mothers until we meet them. That was the rule. That was a weird rule, but it worked.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because we had never met Alvin's mom, James' mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we trashed their mothers.
Yeah. I don't. I met your mother, but I don't. Yeah, I don't trash her anymore.
I still do.
We don't do any yo mama jokes. That's for sure.
Well, I actually like your mom. So it's hard to like my mother. But that's okay. I still love my mother.
I don't mind.
She
her.
may not think so, but I love her.
It's like I don't mind her. She's alright. She's alright.
She's all right in small doses. Kind of like a bad whiskey,
Alright, bro. I think we can end it there.
Yeah, I think so. We're getting close on midnight here. For all you listeners who wonder when we do this and why it comes out in, Sunday instead of Saturday night, it's because it's fucking midnight right now.
Yeah,
So,
I can't believe you didn't finish your vegetables, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that random. That's exactly how it sounds. It's just like,
That's what I was going for. It's interesting because now our outro is actually a little bit longer. I don't know if you've noticed that. I had to update it a little bit. So whenever you're ready, I'll go ahead and do the outro.
I'm ready when you are.
You gonna do the beat, or are we skipping that? This episode of the Nothing Better to Listen To podcast can be downloaded on iTunes or Google Play, or directly from shoutengine.com. Be sure to leave us a review if you enjoyed the episode, or even if you didn't, just leave a friggin' review because we need them. Our bumper music is provided by bensound.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook. You can talk to us on Twitter at NBTLT Podcast. You can send us an email with your questions and comments at nbtltpodcast at gmail.com. This is getting difficult. Okay, and lastly, but not leastly, the NBTLT podcast has a new Reddit home. A new Reddit home. Yes, it is. NBTLT?
No, leastly.
Lastly.
Lastly, but not leastly, you said.
Oh, no, it's not really a word, but I used it anyway.
Okay, so we're not homeless anymore. We have a home.
Well, we have a Reddit home. And it's reddit.com. And if you're a Reddit user or a Redditor, then you probably are going to be annoyed with this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Reddit.com/r/NBTLT. And for all you people that usually use Reddit, just go search for new Reddit and type in NBTLT. You know, there you go. So, they're starting to get longer, and at this point, it might just end up starting to be on show notes on the podcast description. I don't even know what that is. Oh my God, you're an amateur.
I know. Noob.
I enlightened Zumi to a set list and show notes and all of these other things, and he didn't even know he was the director until I told him he was. So
you know I love you, Lonnie.
But I guess as the guy that's the producer and the editor, you know, I have to know these things for the director that can't be bothered with all of this bullshit.
Yeah, you're the bitch.
I'll go with that. It's okay. You know?
All right.
But, all right, that's going to be it for us on the Nothing Better to Listen To podcast. I'm Lonnie, and that was Zumi. Finally, we missed you.
Missed you too.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Peace.